All for One is kind of an evil man. I mean, yeah, we knew, but, like, holy crap, this man literally just had Nagant just, like, explode. Right in front of Izuku. Right in front of us, the readers of My Hero Academia. And it's just like, really? Like, really? It's just like, we literally have had, like, 3 chapters now, 3 to 4 chapters of Nagant, and getting to kind of see how her character is, her backstory, how she reveals the darkness of Hero Society, like, the true darkness and everything, and just, like, and then she just explodes. I mean, obviously, there is some hope that she might not be, completely KO'd, like, she could potentially heal, and I'll talk about that in a second, but it's just like, really? Really, All for One? Like, you really are an evil man. Like, I guess we should have figured something like that for this man to be, like, the number one villain, the guy that was, like, the constant, like, villain for All Might, the one always stand before him and stop it at every turn, the main antagonist for One for All. Obviously, he probably would have some counterplay to the Talk No Jutsu, and in its own way, I am thankful for that. That is something that I am actually very, very, very happy about, because honestly, it's like, how wouldn't All for One, think that maybe potentially Nagant could be talked to join the hero side once again? Because it's like, he's dealing with someone that is wanting to be the number one hero. He's dealing with someone that carries on his brother's legacy. So he should definitely be aware that there could be a possibility that a villain that was at the very least on the side of good, or even in the gray area, could be tilted back over to the side of light. So I do appreciate the counterplay. It is something that is good writing in of itself, because he basically said he never trusted Nagant, and for good reason. He didn't trust her. He put, like, an explosion in place. The question is, what did he do? That's the big thing I'm wondering about now, and I'm trying to piece together of how did it happen and what did he do. We know he gave her, a quirk. We know he gave her a quirk, but did he slide in a few other quirks? Or does he have a quirk to where if he puts his hand on someone, he could put maybe a remote, like, explosion on them, and if they don't do what he wants, and, like, their heart, kind of flutters and does something else, they'll just go boom. Like, maybe that's what happened. Maybe it isn't, like, anything like another quirk put inside of her, but he literally kind of put, like, a hidden explosive on her. As soon as she doesn't do what he wants, he's just like, boom, and he's able to probably watch every movement she is, because he probably also has a quirk to where he's able to survey and watch someone that he designates that he wants to be able to watch. So just, like, there's a lot of things to consider, and I feel like that's probably the case. I don't think it's him giving her a quirk that could cause an explosion. I just think that, he probably put, like I said, an invisible bomb on her. But, that's the next thing. When Nagant possibly dying, is she going to die? That's a hard one. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the way Horikoshi-sensei has went so hard on trying to kind of build up Nagant, like really giving us her backstory, her character, everything about, like, her connection with Izuku and how Izuku is getting someone to kind of turn over a new leaf, just everything about that, it makes me feel like she's going to be around, and she's not gone. And with Hawks coming in like he did, it also gives belief that maybe she could potentially be saved. I mean, we don't really know the actual nature of what her body looks like. We know that her face started to crack, so we could assume it's probably going to have some damage that's irreparable. Even if she survives, she probably would be so destroyed to the point she might not ever be able to probably use her quirk ever again, or she might not be able to walk or whatever. We don't really know exactly what All for One did to her, so even if she does survive, she might not ever be able to do anything once again. And in its own way, it might free her. Because when you think about what All for One said himself, he's like, at the end of the day, you were always used. You were always a convenient tool, regardless of whatever side you were on. And you could curse your quirk if you want to for why you've been put in this situation your entire life. And maybe what happened is that her quirk was so damaged, and if she does survive, it might free her from her quirk, where she no longer has to be an assassin. She no longer needs to execute people and be kind of like a dog for either heroes or villains. So it could be a good thing if she has fully lost her quirk, or she can't use her quirk properly ever again. Whatever the case may be, there's other things to think about, and that is also Overhaul. It's clear as day that Horikoshi-sensei wouldn't throw in Overhaul if he wasn't going to be vital somehow. Like, we know there is something going on with Overhaul. We don't really know the full extent. We just know that there's plans for him. There is definitely plans story-wise for him, and not even, I think, All for One is truly aware of everything that maybe, Overhaul is actually capable of, which that is the next segue, what I want to talk about. So, as I've already mentioned a few times throughout my channel of videos I've done for a while now, We've known that Overhaul is capable of somehow using his quirk still. We don't know the exact way he can use it. We assume it's through his feet or something else, but we know that he is still able to use his quirk in some form, because it was updated by Horikoshi himself with a volume that came out kind of showcasing that. He kind of went through a little bit of an awakening, or his quirk kind of shifted and manifested in a different way. And as I've already covered a few times, we've seen it even when he was fighting Izuku. He was able to manipulate matter and stuff around him without even putting his hands on it when he merged with the other guy. So for all we know, he still might be able to do that, for what we can see. And if that is indeed the case, he is definitely very convenient, and he's in a very convenient spot to fix Nagant up. Think about this. Like, what other character at this current point could be able to stop Nagant from dying and being permanently maimed, etc., besides Eri? Overhaul. And wouldn't it be kind of interesting if Overhaul turns out to be the biggest bane of existence to All for One and Shigaraki? I mean, think about this. I mean, Shigaraki, when he took out, Overhaul, ripped his arm off and all that, and then, the other arm is taken by Mr. Compress. But what if his actions of kind of being very petty in that moment created his biggest obstacle that he never saw coming, which would be Overhaul to work with the heroes? And there was hints that he doesn't have a grudge. Like, Nagant even said, "Do you have a grudge against this hero?" He's like, "No, I don't have anything. It's just my father and all that, the one I want to, heal, the old man. I want to see him again." And basically, even though he says he doesn't have a grudge, after that happens, after he collects himself and he's able to see the person he looks up to and potentially heal him, what's going to change the fact if he might turn over a new leaf and want to just go after Shigaraki, and he'll do any means necessary to get rid of him because of his anger, probably what has happened to his life. He doesn't necessarily blame Izuku, he blames everything else. That is what I am wondering. I wonder if that will indeed happen, and if he will use his quirk to actually work and help Nagant get back up on her feet. And that would be crazy. I mean, he is the perfect character right now to be able to fix the situation that's currently happening in the manga, but will that happen? That's the thing. So, whatever the case may be, I feel like things are about to get very interesting, because if Nagant dies, this is going to really make Izuku even angrier with All for One, and it might lead to more character development with this character, which in its own way, I kind of hope happens, even though I don't want Nagant to die. But if Nagant doesn't die, there's possibilities that she'll either be maimed, like I said, or, Overhaul will heal her, which can open up a whole new doorway with Eri and, getting to see Togata and all that going down. There's a lot of potential there. So just like, it's a good chapter. I mean, we even had some stuff with Izuku showcasing his new, fake 100% one-for-all punch and kick. So, yeah, that's something that's very important. We've known for a while that Izuku is eventually one day going to be able to achieve 100%. We've known it's getting very closer and closer to that point, especially with all the quirks that he's unlocking. There's just so much more he has to do. And this chapter basically reveals that Izuku can tap in to 100% one for all without really any major drawbacks, at least from what we could see so far. There doesn't seem to be any major drawbacks for him tapping into that type of power. And if that is indeed the case, Izuku has just received a major power-up. The only thing now, though, that is a weakness to him is that he has to charge up the power within his certain leg or body to be able to unleash 100%. So he can't do it, instantly by, like, a punch or a kick with 100%. But even then, though, being able to access the power of 100%, even if it is a fake version, like a knockoff, is still incredible in of itself. So Izuku did get a massive power-up, and a lot he learned about his, new quirk, Faux, I think that's how it's pronounced. So, I'm looking forward to that. I know people might not be happy with that outcome, because, one of the big things that's always been about Izuku is the repercussions of his quirk and all that, but we're reaching into a point where Izuku's really having to learn One for All, and his previous generation of One for All users, they're working with him very closely, trying to help him out. His own quirk is literally talking with him and trying to help him out and learn his quirk at a more efficient way. So when you think about it, it makes sense why he would be able to achieve something like this so quickly, because his quirk is literally working with him. So I don't know what else to say. I understand why some might not like the direction this is going. I understand that. I fully 100% understand that. But in the grand scheme of things, it does make sense with everything that's already been presented in the story of My Hero Academia. But I want to leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you got this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click that bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.